Hello, Lea.
Hi, Uyi.
Thank you for coming to my studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
So basically, I see your work for so many years now, supporting lots of social topics and using it to inspire a lot of people. But I often wonder, just like I ask myself the same question, why do you create art?
That's a good question. I think art to me is like an innate force. It's something that's in the human nature, and that really calls us to create, to express, to exchange with each other as well in a different language than words or voice. So just with images, symbols, and sometimes a lot of intuition. So something that comes out of how we experience things, expressing feelings, and share those, and also ignite these kind of emotions in other people. And I think that's also what brings me to create, or sometimes also maybe a way of digesting life or communicating
Right, yeah,
with life.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing this now? Do you remember your first work or something?
I think since always, even like have a scar here when I fell into like a metal box of like crayons, and then I cut open my chin in it.
Oh, sorry about
So
that.
yeah.
Right. And knowing that Ugegraff, it's about destruction, it's about attack. How does it make you feel knowing that your work will be destroyed?
I love it actually. I think it's very interesting, and I feel like all of creations kind of, they have their own purpose, or sometimes even you want to build something and it turns out so differently, and you have to let go. You have really to see what happens in the process, in the dialogue with the material, especially ceramics. It's very unpredictable. And then, of course, things break. Sometimes you don't want them to break. More often, I cannot put them together. So once it shatters, like, I have to throw it away. So I think it's really beautiful to give it a second life, but not just that, but really like a different meaning. So I feel like maybe this piece has been like born to become something else, and I'm really open to see what happens and what people make of it as well. So it's a new experience for me, and I really love the concept. So I was like, I'm fully in.
Thank you. Now, talking about destruction, but more specifically, attack on people. How does that make you feel? I mean, knowing for sure that domestic abuse is something that is quite prevalent in almost every society today. How do you feel as an artist, and how can you somehow relate through your artwork to this situation?
Well, of course, I'm an empath, so whenever someone is aggressed or whenever I can sense or witness violence, I also often feel instantly like implicated, or
Yes, yeah, empathy, I guess,
empathy,
yeah.
and it's still hard to know how to react, how to help, to find the mean on how to give that person a voice, or sometimes sometimes I've been witnessing scenes, for example, in Paris, in the metro, where you can see there's like violence in between a couple, for example, but then if you want to help me, sometimes the victim even says like, no, leave me, I can deal with this by myself. So it's hard to know where to position yourself, and of course you have this instant reflex of wanting to help. You have this of course, you have this instant force, you want to help, but you don't know really how
to do it.
Yes,
Right.
and what is the right thing, or even you could make it worse if you engage in between the two people. So it's, yeah, especially as a woman, you also don't know where to put yourself in that kind of situation, and it's really the first thing is to show this empathy, to show this at least solidarity, and maybe let the person know if she needs help, they can reach out. But yeah, still like a very delicate topic, and it's very taboo in a society still. So I think it's very necessary to raise voices, maybe collectively, because I gather that has more impact than each one on their own.
That's very brilliant. That's fantastic, and I think the goal of Ugegraff as a project is for the sake of amplifying the voices, and it could have just been only you exhibiting and having your work to be exhibited for the purpose of giving voice to these people, but the fact that we've gathered 50 artists to do this together, I think it will eventually increase, just like you said, amplify the voices for the people who find themselves in such a situation. So thank you again. Now, I wonder though, if you had to decide what people will take from your work being a part of this exhibition, what would it be? What would you like for your contribution to impact, both on the audience and on the society overall?
I think art is an experience, and I love in this case to offer art as an experience for people being participating in the reconstruction. And so I imagine it will be very personal for them. They might even like mirror scenes where they have been witness or where they have been victims, because I believe that all of us have at any moment, at different moments of our life, been confronted from far or even close to situations. Being as a child with a parent, being in a couple, being in between friends sometimes also, words can hurt sometimes very much. And so I think it's in this moment they will self-reflect on how they have been confronted to violence in the situation, personally or impersonally. And maybe through this moment and become conscious, become more aware, because I think what art is also is like raising awareness, collective awareness, and then from there ignite maybe change, inspire people to also act for change together. And I mean, it's
great, fantastic. Thank you very much. And would you like to tell us very briefly about the art you're contributing to the project?
So I'm presenting a big art ball made of ceramics, glazed. And so I engraved faces of different sizes that are completely interwoven. So there's no beginning and no end, which links all of us together, intergenerational, but also different genders, different origins, and just as humans, so that it connects all of us as being human souls. And you can see the faces with big eyes, so everyone looks, but then the mouth is closed, or they have the mouth open but no sound. So it's almost like when you witness violence, that you can see it but you don't act, you would kind of freeze. So it represents that silence, not only of the victim but also silence of the witness.
The witness.
Yes.
It's interesting, interesting. Talking about the audience, of course we have the artists all participating, but the audience are also participating. And of course there may be people who are still thinking whether or not to attend, or even trying to make sense of the entire exhibition and project. What message do you have for these people?
Well, I think first of all the workshops will be an incredible collective experience where you can break the pieces and build them back together. And so no one needs to be like a professional artist to be helping, but all of us are artists. I really believe that all in our souls we have something to say and something to create and to contribute. And particularly in my case with this ceramic ball being scattered, I imagine that when we put them back together, we make appear the scars of the victims that have been kind of need to find a way to reconstruct themselves, as whenever you have been a victim of violence or need to go to therapy. Yeah, whatever it means that help you reconstruct, especially time. So that's the most helpful healer in life is time. And so, of course, the piece will be completely different. I imagine maybe not even round anymore, but maybe it's going to be like a totem or anything in a completely different shape.
Right.
That kind of reminds us of where it came from. But
where it is
yes,
today. That's right.
That's why a new kind of whole is that you will be whole again, but you will have a different face or maybe a different shape and a different heart, but you go out stronger. And all of the helping hands have been part of this reconstruction and of this stronger person that will then be in the exchange, being there for others to lead the way out of that darkness, that dark experience.
Thank you very much. Really brilliant, really brilliant. Talking about the scars, the social aspect, the taboo, which is about the domestic abuse and violence. And on the other hand, then we have the art. here are two unrelated terms coming together to form one relative term. What is your take, for the use of art as a platform for social change?
Well, I think art is moving from the emotions. It's talking to the very deep essence of people, whether that some polemics sometimes is more mental. So I think art is a non-intrusive way of communicating a message, of like planting seeds within people's hearts and in people's consciousness. And so really creating change from inside out. And it's also art leaves the spectator open to interpretation. So it's a symbol, a language of symbols, but also in this case from own experience. And I think it's always the best way to learn, or the best way to teach in both directions. Yes. That really we all learn from experience, and we all grow from experience, and especially when we share our insights. And I think art is a beautiful way to just really keep this curiosity and keep this will of growing, of changing, and of
learning also.
Yes.
I guess. Yeah, thank you very much. And going by your last statement, I think it's very important for us to always remind people that while it is okay to experience things in order to learn, but here we have something that we don't want people to experience. We don't want people to experience domestic abuse. We don't want people to experience violent attack. But we want them to experience the art that teaches them about how to avoid this abuse. So thank you very much for joining me and for this conversation. It's really been beautiful. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward, and
yeah, me too.
Amazing.
Me too. Well, I hope it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we look forward to it together. Yeah, thank you.